I'm Chris,
And I'm Cull,
and this is the
the
Chris
Chris
and
and
Cull
Cull
Show.
Show. Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 1 of the new show on the channel. You may remember the Fizzcast. It's been
You
in.
may not.
You may not.
You
You may
may
not.
not remember it.
It was short lived.
It was
Hopefully,
a thing at
this
one
lives
point.
longer. And the reason that this actually isn't a Fizzcast, this is, by the way, this is a podcast that Chris and I are doing. And the reason we
By the
chose,
way, you're listening to a podcast.
you're listening
If
to a
you didn't already
podcast.
know
Yeah,
that, you
yeah.
might be lost. Actually,
Well, I
You
mean, we're
might
gonna
have-
post this to the YouTube, so
the YouTube.
there might be some people wondering what's going on. Yeah, but
They
anyways,
see the Chris and Cull Show podcast and like, dang, dude, I'm ready to watch a cooking show right now.
yeah, but the reason we didn't call this the Fizzcast is because, well, we may be like holding out hope.
Half of the
Ho-
Fizzcast is not here.
yeah, we may be like holding out hope that one day the Fizzcast comes back around. So right now it's just me and Chris though. Uh, so we got the Chris and Cole show.
We are the two that have been I would like to say most active, but really it's active at all
We've been on our
on
grind.
YouTube.
We've been on our grind.
You could say that. You could say that. If our grind is one video a month
Yes.
for a
Every
year.
once in a while we get these bursts of videos that come out, We just gotta get more consistent.
Mhm.
Is this the part in the video where I make a promise that this will be every week and then we fail to live up to that promise?
Yeah, I think we should already start out with false promises. I think that's our bread and butter at this point.
Well,
It's basically a curse because as soon as I said like in a video that I was gonna release every week, my computer literally died.
well, you know the Fizz motto, right? Overpromise, underdeliver.
Underdeliver.
That is
Well,
the motto here at the Fizz.
it was supposed to be quantity over quality for a second, but then we realized even that takes effort.
Yeah, it's
We were
okay.
like,
We're
bro, we'll just
this time of the year is when we do best. We got something. I don't know if we want to say it yet, but we got something coming up soon.
we do.
Soon, you'll
We
see.
do
You'll
have a
see something for
something.
that soon.
Hopefully it's not
Trust
a
me.
something that's a month or two late.
No.
Again.
We're preparing hard for this. We're preparing for this. It's gonna be good. Okay,
Preparing
that's a
hard.
promise that I will.
What day is it?
That's a promise I'm gonna keep. Okay.
Almost almost the second week of September
This is a promise
that we're in
gonna
right
keep.
now.
Okay, we have to. We have to.
We'll have at least
All right.
a
This is
video.
the only thing that we have going for us. Okay. Yeah, so we're kind of breaking away from the Fizz cast in a way, but Chris and I were on a lot, and so we're able to do this more than others, and I don't really blame them. It's we all got our things going on and stuff, but we like doing the podcast, so we wanted to keep it alive in some fashion. So we've been planning this for a little while now, for a few months, doing like our own kind of duo cast type thing. Yeah, but we should probably talk about some of the things that we want to do on the podcast.
Yeah. Yes, we should.
Um,
I know. I don't know. We've been keeping up with the Marvel movies and shows, especially the shows recently.
Yeah.
I guess
So we're not like
You
just
know.
jumping into this like blindly, like at least not for the first episode. Second episode, we'll see.
yeah,
But for the first episode, we have been keeping up with kind of the Marvel stuff that's been going on. After 2020, there was pretty much like no Marvel content at all. And now there's a lot of stuff, and we've enjoyed it,
Yeah.
and we've been keeping up with it. So we want to take this episode. We thought it'd be a good kind of intro and start of the show.
Mhm.
Something we could talk about.
yeah. It feels like after Endgame, they're just going in like a ton of different directions, so it's more interesting to kind of, I guess, just follow it and see where everything's going to link up. So it's just a really interesting time for that. Like, there's not really a clear direction that
Yeah,
everything is
yeah.
going like there used to be.
Hmm.
You know, like the old cycle would be like okay, they're add a new member. They're gonna meet the other Avengers or whatever somehow, and they're gonna have a group movie, and that's kind of like the cycle
Yeah,
would continue
and
essentially. With some differences.
I think we I don't want to like spoil anything too much, so take this with caution. But we just saw Shang-Chi, and I think that kind of headed in that direction, where
it headed in that
new
direction, but I
new
feel like it was
character, but
different
like
enough.
yeah,
It was
yeah,
different, and like
it was really good in that
it's way
aspect.
better than something like, what comes to mind for me is like Ant-Man and the Wasp, where it's literally like they're just in California again, and they just like they have somebody. It's like, this person knew freaking Iron Man's dad or whatever, And then it's like, I don't know, they just do the same things, I guess. This one switched it up enough that it was like really interesting. I
Yeah.
forgot it was a Marvel movie until like freaking Wong came in with his like
Whoa! Spoilers!
with his circles, bro. You already know he's gonna be in the movie, bro.
He was in the trailer. Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it was really easy to forget it was a Marvel movie. I guess, especially because of the new characters.
Yeah.
Of course, because like, most of the time you know who they are. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of jumping into some of the stuff we're talking about today. But yes, some of the things that we'll talk about on here, I guess, are kind of like movies, shows, just film in general. And we don't have to just do Marvel. As you can see there behind Chris, he has his Mandalorian poster.
I do.
Mandalorian poster up there. We can talk about. There's some Star Wars stuff coming out.
Do we have a date for the next season of The Mandalorian?
I don't think so, but there's some other shows like the Lando, the Ahsoka Tano show is coming, and then the Obi-Wan Kenobi show that's also coming. So there's a lot of stuff to look forward to. I don't know. I think that's like maybe. I know it's definitely next year before that stuff comes out. So
I thought it was at least winter.
But
is it like
if Chris,
after winter?
If Chris could watch the Clone Wars, we would have things to talk about. But
maybe
I'm just gonna put this out there right now. Clone Wars is the greatest Star Wars story that there is.
How many?
It may be
episodes?
animation, but that doesn't mean it's not good.
How many episodes of the Clone Wars is there?
A bunch. There's like there's 7 seasons, so like
should we have like a day or
40
a weekly recap? Like we'll watch like a few episodes and then we'll talk about it, and then it gives me.
Well, the Bad Batch just came out. I haven't actually finished it. I'm like halfway through, but the Bad Batch has just come out and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I feel like
we got that stuff to look forward to, and those are things that we're gonna cover on here. If you think back to the Fizzcast, we also covered things like video games. So we'll cover some of the video game news and stuff that's coming out.
We did a lot on the Fizzcast. We pretty much just talked about anything that we could think
of. Pretty much anything. We talked about tech.
We talked a lot about tech. We did just random news.
Yeah.
We talked about
the coronavirus,
megabytes in the vaccines or whatever, nanobytes.
Yeah, so we got a lot of stuff to talk about. So, yeah, just kind of like a pretty much anything type of podcast. Yeah. So, like we said, first episode we kind of talking about kind of the Marvel movies and stuff, and kind of how these new episodes and stuff, or new shows, I should say, just kind of talk about them and kind of the future for the MCU. But before we really get into that, I thought it'd be a cool thing if Chris and I made our own tier list for the MCU movies. So I've asked him to make his own, and I'm gonna make my own. Yeah. So we're gonna take a little break here. Show you a little ad for our YouTube videos. Yeah, so check that out, and while that's going on, we're gonna be making our tier list, and we'll get back to that when we get back.
Nice.
Wait, actually, I didn't like that. Well,
you can just redo it while I make this.
So as we were talking, okay. So as we kind of mentioned, for this first episode, we wanted to get into some of the Marvel stuff that's going on. New shows, new movies have been coming out. And so we wanted to kind of talk about those. and talk about kind of the future of the MCU and what we're excited for and things like that, because it's pretty big. A lot of people know, if they don't love it, they at least know about it. Endgame was like a massive movie, so there's a lot to talk about there. But I talked about it with Chris, and I said before we get into this, it would kind of be cool if we made our own separate tier lists for the MCU movies and compare them and see how they stand against each other, and see which movies we like, we both like, and then which ones we put down at the lower ones. See how good they match up. So we're gonna do that, and while we're doing that, check out this quick video. Hey everybody, I just want to use this time to tell you that along with the Chris and Cull Show, we are going to be uploading a new series on the channel as well. Chris and I will be playing some hardcore Minecraft, and we're going to try and do all the normal Minecraft things, beat all the bosses, and get all the advancements that we can. And we're going to be doing shared hearts, and we're going to see how many tries and how long it takes us to accomplish that, if we ever accomplish it. But I want to tell you guys about that and give you a little sneak peek. So here you go.
It's like teleporting.
Bro, dude, wait till you see what I just got, bro. This is the coolest thing ever. Bro! Here I am. Bro, check this out. Bro, wait for it. Oh, dude! Hey.
How do you get a parrot?
You gotta feed it. You gotta find them, and you gotta feed them seeds.
Nice.
You gotta like sneak up on them. I've never had one of these before. And I have a dog.
Is that the whole thing?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Oh! Oh no, dude!
Logan,
Our first guest on the show. Our first guest.
Logan, what do you do? Bro, are you a gamer today?
Pod's back, boys.
The pod's back. We're podcasting right now. Let's go.
What are we talking about?
Marvel.
I'll do Marvel.
Yeah.
Just Logan.
Shang-Chi in the Battle.
Yes, dude.
Yeah, bro. Did you watch it?
No, I know nothing about it. Who's Shang-Chi?
Why aren't you a gamer anymore, bro?
You'll have to
Why
watch our
am
podcast.
I have been enslaved by work and school.
Bro, just quit. Quit work and school.
Listen, you're out in California now. You're a big boy.
I am out in California, and I still find gamer time, bro.
Felon's a big boy now too. I'm still a little man in school.
How are you busier than both of us then?
I also work part-time.
Yeah.
Full-time.
I'm full-time work, part-time school, which is not as bad as full-time.
I'm part-time work, part-time YouTube entrepreneur.
Dude, he uploaded 3 episodes in last week. 3 episodes.
I did it. I did a couple of 9-to-5s recently. I'm getting into it.
Was this your like first full week of work in Cali?
I mean, I guess you could call it a full week. I got Friday off.
It wasn't even the first full week.
I got a Friday off, bro. You gotta have. The
and this Monday,
weekend.
you had Monday off, right? Today,
dude. Honestly, I probably would have been better off if I
week.
was working on Friday, because I wouldn't have gotten my fucking shit pushed in. I wouldn't have gotten my trunk pushed in by some random ass Mustang. But guess what?
Why'd you let him hit you? And then
dude, I should have thought about that. I should have hopped out my car and just like,
you should have chased him.
Stop it right there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get out of the road. I think that's a good idea. And I got out of the road and I looked behind me and I was like, oh, I guess he had the same idea. He must be off the road somewhere.
I'm sure he is hiding away.
Wasn't off the road
alley.
Anywhere. He just left. He skedoodled.
He couldn't have gotten far with the LA traffic.
I don't know. It wasn't very crowded. 11:40 in the morning on a Friday, and everybody was working. So, except for me and the worst drivers in LA.
You
I
mean
went
the
to
vloggers?
yeah, he's probably vlogging. He vlogged right into me.
Dude, you'll find footage of it somewhere on YouTube.
Yeah, they're gonna be
Probably.
hit and run this dumb idiot.
The police were like, "So you don't know anything?" And I was like, "No." And they were like, "Do you want me to arrest him?" And I was like, "I don't think that's gonna do anything."
Arrest who?
The guy who hit me, I was like, "No, I don't know. What are you gonna do? Like,
Did they
stop
just
right there."
did they already catch him or something?
No, they don't even know who he was. I was like, "How are you gonna arrest him?"
Yeah.
Were they just gonna like do like arrest the entire population?
Everybody who owns a black Mustang, they were gonna pull up on him.
I mean, to be fair, people who own black Mustangs should be arrested.
Probably. There were actually a lot of black, like literally at least, 20% of the population must own a Mustang because I saw so many
Really?
after that. Yeah.
I see Mustangs here a lot too.
I don't know. I don't know if they're just giving them away for free or what, obviously, because that person probably didn't have insurance if they just gonna fucking skirt on me. Every person who comes to LA just gets a free Mustang with their vaccines. And all I got was a fucking Target gift card. That's what I get.
You got a Target gift card?
From the
I
police.
did.
At least you got.
No.
I got nothing, bro.
For getting my vaccine, they gave me like a $5 voucher. It's like limited to
Target?
like only
got-
Target stuff.
I got protection from the coronavirus. That was my gift.
I should have got it in San Francisco. They were giving away like free weed and everything. I could have went to like a craft beer place and got some like free.
They were
free
giving it
stuff.
away there.
Oh, okay. So
They
here
were
I have
giving
a
away everywhere.
here I have a good topic.
You get your vaccine at the local
I-
restaurant.
I will tell a story and then I'm gonna skedaddle. But I gotta tell you
For the pod?
about the moon landing denier I met on campus last week.
Nice.
So there was this man on campus with a little poster board that you look like a middle schooler would make for a science experiment or like a science fair, and it said, "Why was the moon landing faked?" And
Is
so
he asking you?
just in general, and he had, it was quite the experience. So I went up because I wanted to have a dialogue with this man
He's
to
brushing
learn.
his beard.
He is brushing his beard.
I'm listening intently.
So this man, he was just talking to people on the street, kind of like, I don't know how to explain it. He'd be like, people just walk by and he'd be like, "Hey, did you know the moon landing was faked?" And people would be like, "What are you talking about?" And anyways, I decided to put on a NASA shirt and go talk to him just to see what he would say.
Did you go back and get your NASA shirt?
Well, I went there to go get some food because he was next to the food court on campus. So I was like, I'm gonna go talk to this man. And so I walked up and I was kind of sitting back in the crowd because there's maybe like 6 or 7 people surrounding him at this point. And then he saw me and he pointed me out and he was like, "NASA." And then like he was like, "You know what NASA stands for or something?" And I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Never a straight answer." And I was like, "Oh, really?" And he's like, "Yeah, because they always lie." And I was like, "Really now? What
Did
are
he
they
come up with
lying
that on
about?"
the fly?
Well, we're not even getting into the craziness that I learned because it was not just about the moon landing. I further learned. So I began a dialogue with him and I began asking him, I was like, "So what makes you think that the moon landing was faked?" And apparently the moon is not even real. The moon is not real. The sun, the moon, and all the stars are actually not real. They are projections on top of the dome that surrounds our flat Earth. So this flat Earth has a dome, and I asked him what is beyond the dome, and he said it's just heaven. There's nothing else. Above that dome is heaven, and God created this dome that surrounds the Earth to protect us, and this is the entire universe. And what NASA found this out, and they don't want us to know. So they're hiding the existence of God above the dome by saying that the Earth is a sphere because they were able to fake the moon landing, and by faking the moon landing, it proves that there is like a space, and that allowed them to fake pictures of the globe.
Did you ask him why God put a fake moon up there if it didn't make a difference?
No, dude, it's a projection.
There was only so many questions to get to.
When did they start? So like he said it was projection. Like, how long have they had this projector? The moon?
Forever.
Forever. The Earth started
Well-
and there was a projector. Or
Well,
a
I
moon.
asked him, I was like, so you're saying that the flat Earth, there's a flat Earth? And he said, yes. And I asked him, well, what's on the other side? And he said, I don't know. Could be anything over there. And I was like, do you think there could be another society? He's like, oh, yeah, for sure. They actually found 50 million people in tunnels in the Antarctic. And I was like, wait a minute.
they found
I was-
him.
And then I was like, 50 million people? And he's like, yeah, but they're hiding it. NASA's hiding it. And I was like,
How did he know, bro?
that is a good question. He just knows.
Bro, he knows.
But anyways, I was like, okay, so also I was like, so do we have like apparently people live underground. There are mole people as well. Due to the Antarctic tunnels and 50 million people being in there, there's also mole people. So I was like, how have the world governments been talking to the mole people? And he's like, oh yeah. Yeah, they've been in cahoots for a while. And I was like, oh. So then I asked him, I was like, how thick do you think the Earth is? Because if there's two sides, there has to be a thickness. And he's like, well, the deepest we've dug is about 7.6 miles. So probably at least that much. And I was like, if you could give an estimate, what would you say? And he's like, about 10 miles.
And there's a whole society in a 10-mile range.
There's mole people. And 50 million people were living in the Antarctic tunnels near
50 million people lived in a
50 million
10-mile thickness.
in the Antarctic near the dome that God created that he lives outside of. And also he said the reason why air doesn't escape is not because of gravity. Gravity does not exist. It's because of the dome keeping it inside.
What?
Wait.
And then he proceeded to give me a flat Earth that he 3D printed with the Arctic wall, and he said, "You can put water on this, and it won't fall off the sides." And then he proceeded to give me a piece of paper with a bunch of like YouTube videos saying you should watch these, and they were a mixture. It was a mixture of like flat Earth conspiracy theories and then like religious stuff. And I was like, and then
So-
yeah.
What countries does this wall exist in exactly?
If you were to look at the
At his nice
a
model?
big thing that he said is that in the flat Earth theory, this means that Australians don't have to be upside down. I forgot to mention that.
What?
He was very adamant about this. He mentioned it several times, and that in this theory, Australia is not upside down. For like the Australians are not upside down in his theory. They are right side up, like we are.
Did he think that was like one of Earth's greatest mysteries? Like,
Well,
why?
I tried to say, due to the Earth being, spherical as a globe, and gravity is going towards the center of the Earth, to us, coordinate planes are just man-made. So you can make a coordinate system in any way that you really want. So to everyone on the planet, they are upright. And he was like, gravity is not real, my man. And was like, the dome keeps the air in, and we're all right side up.
We are all right.
How old
Even
was
though-
this person?
He was like in his 30s or 40s.
Ah.
And he said that he goes to like a church, and he's convinced a few people about the flat Earth theory.
Oh,
And
no.
then he said for the most part they don't really believe it. And I was like, why do you think the church is trying to hide God above the dome? Because if God is truly up there, don't you think that the church would want to like tell everyone that? And he said it's because they've been propagandized and like educated the wrong way to believe that the Earth is a globe and heaven is not above the dome. Anyways, it was really wild.
Did you ask him where he learned all this stuff from, or was it just the YouTube videos he printed out for you?
It probably was. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, just watch. How many YouTube videos were there? Do you think?
I would say probably. Oh, I have it right
Bro,
here actually.
that sounds like-
I'll read off the list.
That sounds like podcast material, dude.
Okay, if you want to watch these videos, here they are. The first one is The Apollo Moon Landings by Marcus Allen, American Moon English version, which may be a song, I'm not too sure.
What?
And then
Maybe a song.
and then it says Our Flat Earth Journey by Taboo Conspiracy II. Why I'm a Flat Earther, 37 must-see experiments. Now that sounds like a good one.
37.
And then The History of Flat Earth by Eric Dubé.
Is that all of them?
That is all of them. There was
This
only
man-
he didn't put
five.
the
This man looked
Logan
at
Paul
5
flatter
YouTube
video up
videos, and he decided to change his life. He said, "I'm going to the college, and I'm gonna let people know."
Your action.
All right, we're back. Me and Cullen put together our MCU tier lists. So I don't know how you want to do this. Do you want to just present yours in its entirety, or
I was thinking we just go movie by movie and say where we placed it.
Okay.
Yeah, I got a list
Okay.
pulled up here of
do you have them in order?
kind of. Give me 1 second.
Okay,
I'm
we
trying
could go
to-
by series. So like all the
Uh,
Iron Man, all the.
I actually have it in like release order.
Okay,
That's kind of how it was put into our. Oh no, it was actually alphabetical. So Iron Man was the first release in 2008.
Yeah, I gave that a fat S tier.
S
just
tier.
because at the time that
Iron
was
Man,
solid.
the first
Bro!
Iron Man. You gave it S
Bro,
tier,
it was amazing when
You
it
gave
when
it
it
S
came
tier?
out. You got to do it when it comes out.
dude. It's
Bro.
still amazing to this day, which is why I put it in the S tier, dude. The S tier.
Lord.
Let's go.
Exactly.
Got Iron Man in the S tier. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it came out really strong, especially when I was 8. So I was like, heck yeah,
Dude, it's one of those that like I want to go back and watch still. Like if I had just had like choose
yeah.
a MCU movie, like Iron Man like is one of them.
I think from top to bottom, it was it was a very consistent, very strong, and of course, it kind of started the whole MCU as we know it. So
Yeah.
always got to put that on the S.
And I mean, I don't
At
know
the
if this
bottom-
is, I don't know if it's fair to like give them this movie like just the S based on another movie, but like the correlations like in Iron Man and then in Endgame, like it's like when he says like I am Iron Man, like that kind of stuff. There was a lot of that actually.
a lot of callback.
But one of the other things is actually the director of that movie was Jon Favreau, who is amazing. He actually directs The Mandalorian, so
That is
and he
true.
plays Happy Hogan. I don't know if you knew that.
I did.
Yeah, okay.
Good stuff.
His movie Chef is amazing. You got to watch Chef. If you haven't
I've
seen
heard it's
Chef.
good.
Yeah,
actually.
I love that movie. All right, number 2, The Incredible Hulk.
Oh,
so
yeah. So on the other end of the spectrum, one of the earliest movies,
yeah,
I put that in the F tier.
F tier. Okay.
Yeah, for me, at first I put it in the E, or no, I put it on the F. I wanted to spread them out a little bit, and I would say the worst movie in the MCU is probably the Hulk.
Okay, so I don't have it in the F tier, but I have it in the E tier. Okay, and I don't know if it's deserving of that. I haven't like seen it recently.
I haven't seen
actually
it,
judge
but-
if it really deserves E tier, but it wasn't one
I don't
of the.
think it-
I did watch it before, and it wasn't like super memorable. So
Yeah,
E tier.
from what I can remember, it didn't really fit in. Like, you don't really realize that it's an MCU movie at first.
And this isn't fair
Until
to say,
they-
but like
That it was. I don't know.
it's not really fair to say, but like the Mark Ruffalo like the recast,
It was better.
it's just like, well, it's not even just the fact that it's better. It's just like
It's better. Also,
it's like a
and it makes
disconnect from the
movie-
MCU.
yeah.
Like
It makes it kind
I
of
know, like
irrelevant
recast shouldn't
because
be
it's
like
not
that.
even-
Recast
Yeah.
shouldn't be like that, but it is for me.
Well,
at least for
It
that.
feels like you're watching. I mean, the characters don't feel the same. Like, Mark Ruffalo plays it way differently from what I can remember the original
Yeah.
being. So it just feels like he came out of nowhere, and you'd rather just forget that there was a Hulk movie because it doesn't really make anything better.
Well-
Honestly, I forgot that it was spoiler in the recent What If episode. They brought back some characters from the Hulk that made me realize, oh yeah, that was a thing.
Yeah. So moving on. Speaking of recast, we have Iron Man 2, where War Machine was recast. Where we got Don Cheadle into the MCU. So
Yeah, the first guy was kind of weird, wasn't he?
what's his name?
I can't
remember
being
his name
kinda
off the top of my
salty.
head. I watched him in a different show, but I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
I remember being salty
didn't
when
think
I
he was
first saw the
bad.
second Iron Man movie that they had changed him.
Yeah.
Looking
I-
back, I'm pretty sure Don Cheadle's better, but at the time I was
Yeah.
like, bro, are they just gonna act like that's the same guy? I was like, what?
I do like Don Cheadle, not like, and that's not even saying anything bad about the other actor. I can't remember his name. I know his
I
name.
don't.
I just can't remember it off the top of my head.
Yeah,
But that's not even
I,
like
I
anything bad against him. It's just I like Don
I
Cheadle
just
was a
didn't
good
like
choice.
that they looked nothing alike. I was like, bro, at least cast somebody that looks alike.
Yeah,
But I don't know. Don Cheadle's like
it worked out.
pretty high, so it's all good.
All right, where'd you put that one?
Which one did you say? Iron Man
Iron
2?
Man 2.
Where did you put that one? I'm gonna have to find it.
I put Iron Man 2 in the A tier. In the A
The
tier.
A tier.
Yes, I do like Iron Man 2. It's one of my favorites.
I put Iron Man 2 in the C tier.
The
Just
C
because
tier.
I really, really enjoyed the scenes
Oh.
where he was, I don't know, he like found a new material to make his power
Yeah.
source. What was it? He found a new element. I like that stuff. I don't remember the villain. I didn't like the electric whip guy. I don't know.
Really?
Like, yeah. Maybe if I rewatched it, I would see some things I
I don't
like.
know.
But
Iron Man 2 is it's kind of like a comfort movie almost. Like I
yeah,
would put it in the background, you know. I
yeah, I
enjoyed
would
that
say
one.
it was a lot weaker. I mean, maybe I could bump it up a little bit, but it was kind of
Okay.
hard for me to
Now
find
I'm really
good
interested to
places.
see where you put Iron Man 3.
Iron Man,
We'll
Iron
get
Man
there.
3.
We'll get there.
Okay.
Next one was Thor. Oh wait, I didn't. I don't think I
Yeah.
said. Did I say? Yeah, I put it in the
You
A
said it was
tier.
A. Yeah.
Thor.
Thor. I
Mm.
had Thor firmly in the C tier next to Iron Man 2.
Seriously?
So like they're not bad. Like at the time I was
Yeah.
pretty hyped, but like as a body of work, it doesn't like it's not as I don't like it as much as a lot of the other ones, and I had to kind of spread the spectrum. So that's kind of where it ended up.
I actually really like Thor, and I put it in
Really?
the A tier. Yeah.
I
Like
think
right now, out of all these movies, if I had to like go pick one right now to watch, I'd choose Thor because it's like one of the. I haven't. The main reason just because I haven't seen it in a while, but
yeah.
I actually really do enjoy it.
I think the stuff in Asgard was like interesting. Like I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think because Thor 2 is after Thor, or was it Thor the Dark World?
Yeah.
I think that kind of spoils a lot of the stuff that Thor was setting up, and so it makes it worse by comparison. So maybe that's not a fair
Well,
place to put it.
I think you've kind of been mentioning this like off camera, I think, but Thor was like that first movie that introduced like a whole new world, you know, to the MCU. And like
True.
and I this is what I'm disappointed in the future Thor movies, but like his like group of friends that he fought alongside with, like I really enjoyed that. And I wish that Thor itself would have focused more on that. Like he kind of came to Earth and like left them behind and stuff.
Yeah.
That's like my biggest disappointment is Thor is like I didn't get to see like that group of people.
Yeah. I like the world building, but I feel like they didn't do enough of it to like justify it. And also, I mean, this is kind of jumping ahead, but like they had this whole thing where it's like Asgard, Midgard, or whatever. But is Asgard just its own planet? Like at one point they just leave and it's like, oh, it's its own planet in space. Like that was kind of confusing.
Yeah, it's a little confusing.
Like I don't know, it just seemed
I don't know if it's its own planet because you have to like take the bridge there. So
they didn't do enough with it, I think.
Yeah.
But you know, this is just I think when Thor first came out, I was it was pretty hyped just because it was like a new movie, but it wasn't as I don't know. I mean, there were some weird things about it. Like people look back and they see like he dyed his eyebrows or something, and they're like, like I think they just had a weird look for him that they kind of figured out over the next couple movies he was in.
Mm-hmm. I think that the future of Thor and kind of the direction.
Oh, it's looking way better.
Also,
yeah. But we'll get to that in the next movies. Yeah. Okay, what comes after Thor? We can't jump ahead too much. We already mentioned Thor 2. We got
Captain America: The First Avenger.
Reel it back. That one, I put it in the B tier, and this is gonna make a lot more sense when we get to the other ones. But I liked it a lot. But you know, it falls into the same like origin story things where it's like it's trying to stand on its own. So like it did a lot, but I feel like I don't know. The story it didn't set up that much because immediately he gets sent forward in time. But also it's like really good. So it's Dude,
it set up Winter Soldier. What do you mean? Okay.
it set up that, but that's I don't know. It's we'll get to that. I like I said before, I'm trying to I know what you're saying. Yeah, I don't want to put everything S, A, and B because then it just be
So for the longest time, Captain America was my favorite movie. Like, I think it was like the first one I watched, and I was like, oh, like this is the MCU, you know. Like I had seen the Hulk before it, but like I didn't know the Hulk was like part of the MCU or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I like Captain America. I was like, what? I gotta watch more, you know. Like I
Mhm.
remember the first time watching that scene where like Nick Fury at the end, I was like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And then I was like, oh, there's other movies to watch and stuff. But like Captain America was my favorite. It has been one of my favorites. I don't know if it's my favorite today, but like I realized that even though it's my favorite, there's better movies. So I put it
Yeah.
in the A because
Yeah.
it's like,
Well, yeah. I was thinking A, but I had to go with B because there's so many other
yeah,
movies that I like that
it's
I
like
can't like say they're the same.
my favorite.
But for other reasons.
My favorite's Captain
Yeah.
America, but I realized that like it's not the best, but it's my favorite to
Yeah.
watch.
I really liked it, but at the same time it's like there are other movies that I liked more or
Mhm.
like that did more. I mean, I was really hyped for Captain America because that was one of the ones that like I don't know, it was setting up because he like froze in the thing, and you're like, ah, he's coming
Yeah.
back.
All
But like
right.
Red Skull was weird because he didn't, spoilers for anybody who didn't watch. What was it? Which one is that? Endgame, right?
Wait, what?
Red Skull
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
randomly
He comes back.
popping up in Endgame for some
Yeah.
reason.
That was for the longest time. I was like, what happened to Red Skull? Like, are they gonna like
Yeah.
include Red Skull in anything
Yeah,
anymore?
it might just be that I haven't seen Captain America in a long time. I did like the What If episode about Captain America, so maybe if I
Yeah.
went back and watched it, I'd have to stack it up. But yeah,
Yeah. Moving on, this the final movie of Phase 1 was Marvel's The Avengers.
okay. I put that in A.
Yeah, I did too. Like, I don't know, you kind of have
Like
to.
when it came out, it was like, wow, this is amazing. But like now, you
Yeah.
kind of like when you compare it to the Avengers movies that were done
Yeah.
better, you kind of realize they
Yeah.
could have done more.
Like, it's
I think
honestly, it's like one of those things where it's not my favorite movie to watch, but like it's kind of nostalgic, and it's like this is like the start. Like when you're
yeah,
watching it, you're like realize like this is the start
yeah,
of the future
yeah.
movie. So
Yeah, there's a lot of weird stuff. Like it kind of set up Thanos, but like you didn't really know that until like the post
yeah,
credit scene. So it was kind of Loki as like a really weird villain because he only showed up in Thor as like half good guy and then like
yeah,
not. So I don't. It was just weird. But like all of the I don't know the action and the stuff in it was really cool. I just think at this point it's kind of forgettable, even though it's set up so much. So that's why it's gotta be up in the A
hmm.
tier because it was still pretty high.
All right, moving on to Phase 2. The first of that was the Iron Man 3 movie.
Okay, I put Iron Man 3 at the D tier.
D. Okay, so I put it in B, and it's the lowest of my Iron Man movies. It just always had it was like I enjoy it, but it always had like a weird vibe to it. It wasn't. I didn't think it was as good as the other ones.
Yeah, I don't. Was that the
I think
one that
the
the
villain
Mandarin was
aspect.
in?
Yeah, I think the villain aspect
Okay,
is what ruined it for me.
yeah.
I
All I
don't know.
remember were the nanobots. Like he had nanobot armor or something, but I literally remember nothing else about
Yeah,
that movie.
that's one I'll
Did it
probably have
set
to go
up
back and
anything
watch.
in Iron Man 3? I don't
Um,
remember if it had like many connections. I think it might have like
there was like a
I
big
don't
thing
know.
at the end where like all his suits blew up and stuff, but like they all come back, so
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know.
Yeah, he was like trying to get out, but
Yeah.
he didn't. So yeah. It kind of set
I
up some
mean,
stuff
it
that
set
didn't
up
really happen.
his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
Which is probably
Kinda.
which
When
will
did
be future
Iron
episodes
Man
or
3,
shows.
they made a lot of Iron Man movies. I guess because he was just so popular, but it seems
They
so
made
weird how Iron Man 3 is
well,
so far away now.
they
Like,
made like the trilogy. Like
yeah,
he got a proper trilogy. Thor
yeah.
Thor had a proper
Well,
trilogy.
yeah,
Captain
okay. I guess that
America
makes sense.
didn't really have a proper trilogy because
I feel like
Civil
Iron
War
Man,
was not really Captain
yeah,
America exclusive type thing. But
yeah.
like he's the
I
only
feel,
one that's like had like his solo like
yeah.
trilogy.
I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like the first Iron Man makes sense, but like the other ones don't seem as justified just because like, after you have Loki attacking with New York with this band of like whale robots, and then you have Iron Man 3, and he's just like, yeah, it's me again,
Yeah.
just fighting some other guy, or like a guy with electric cables in Iron Man 2. Like, I don't know. Like, I think the most interesting things for me in the original Iron Man movie was just him like creating the suit and like
Yeah.
first flying around in it, and that's probably why I didn't enjoy the other ones as much.
Well, it was
because
like his
less of
character.
that.
It was like his character arc. Like he was like this
Yeah,
like kind
mhm,
of just trying to make money off the weapons,
yeah,
and then he realized what he was actually doing and like
yeah.
changed
I
his whole
mean,
life around.
the
That
setting at
was
the beginning was really cool. Like,
yeah.
it being in a cave, like hammering away or
Like
whatever. Like, that's really cool.
him being
And I,
attacked by his own weapon was like a really like neat
yeah,
touch, I think.
yeah. And I think I mentioned this, but I like the part in the second movie where he was like making the better power source or something.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was cool. He's like, you know, I like the part where he's like, I've got to, because he's an inventor. So I like the part where he's like, I got to figure out a way to like do something. And the other movies, it's like, oh yeah, off screen, I invented nanobots and my robots are just
Yeah.
fucking cool now. So it
All
was, I
right.
guess, less of the process
Thor: The
for me.
Dark World. So,
I put that nice in the E tier.
all right, so I put that in the D tier. Yeah, that's like a movie that I've watched, but like it it was just so confusing to me, I guess.
It didn't make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it was I don't know,
I
it was hard to
enjoyed,
follow.
like, I like the things it set up with Loki and like his dad or whatever, like random stuff like that was cool. I just like the chick that didn't pop up in the next movie. That was kind of weird. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
All of the stuff on Earth where it's just like this chick and her like old friend, and they're like trying to figure this stuff
Yeah.
out, and they're like running around with like sensors. I don't know. Just yeah.
Yeah. Um this is a big change for my list. The Captain America the Winter Soldier. So I actually go from the D tier up to the S tier. I have that in my S tier.
I put Winter Soldier in the A tier, but remember I put the first movie in the B tier. I really like the Winter Soldier. I feel like it was like it was I don't know if it was the first one, but it seems like the first one where they were like solidly like just action through the whole thing, and they did it really well. You know what I mean? Like most
Yeah.
movies had a lot of lulls, and they had,
Yeah.
like little bits, and then like that some action and stuff. But these were like hand-to-hand fights, and they were like just
Yeah.
more intense. Like it felt like an action movie more than like a superhero movie where they did like regular punches and like
The way
superheroes.
I really liked how they brought in like Falcon. Like
Mhm.
they brought in a new character, and then they also like brought in Black Widow, and then obviously brought back Bucky Barnes, and then they
Yeah,
had Nick Fury.
yeah.
Like I thought it was a good mix, and it was.
Mhm.
Let's see,
I
this was
feel like
after Avengers, so this was like the next like big movie that involved a lot of characters after Avengers. You know.
yeah, it was. Yeah, it felt like one of this. It was like a solo movie, but it included a lot of
Yeah.
characters, and it kind of connected the world more. It made it more interesting, and like I said, I really like the action
Yeah.
parts of it. Because I don't know, like I don't know, Thor, he's got his hammer and he's just like hammering away at some fodder bad guys. But this one is like two main characters like beating the crap out of each other through the whole movie, basically. And it had really cool moments in it as well. So I think it was just like, very solid. I think they were kind of they were figuring out what they wanted to do with like the action part of the movies like really well about that time. I think this is the first time they did it like as good as they could, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Next one was Guardians of the Galaxy.
That one I also put at A tier.
I put it in the A tier as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know if I would say it's as good as Captain America, but I really liked the world or the Winter Soldier.
That's the
I really liked the new stuff about it, and it was definitely a different movie, but I liked the vibe, I guess. I liked it was more of a comedy and like
I remember listening to the soundtrack on Spotify. Like it was just like it was one of those movies, and like the watching it for the first time. Now it's not really one of my favorite things to watch, but watching it the first time is definitely very exciting. And seeing
I don't remember
things.
a lot of the story stuff, but the characters were really well done. Like they stood out really well, and I can still remember when like they came in and like what they were doing. So like I feel like I think the characters and like the interactions there of kind of made that movie. what it was, and I think that made it really nice. Plus, the setting was novel for the time. Like they're out in space, whereas besides Thor, we weren't really doing much of that yet.
Yeah.
So it's really cool.
Uh,
It expanded the world a lot because even Thor, like, it didn't really feel like Thor was space. But Thor felt like
yeah.
another dimension or something weird.
Mhm.
So, like, this is actually like, there's a bunch of aliens and like they're flying around in ships out there. So it spelled like an expansion in
Yeah.
the universe, kind of. So,
And I mean,
well, I guess there was
it
Loki
like,
and Thor, or in Thanos. I guess Thanos was always out there, but he was like
well, I mean, with Thor,
a
like
post credits.
they introduced the Asgardians, and then what
Mhm.
was it? What's
The
Loki?
Rainbow Road and
No, what's Loki? His like
Ice Giant,
ice giant. Yeah,
Frost Giant.
frost giant. Like they
Yeah,
introduced that, but like
they didn't do
Guardians of the
anything with those
Galaxy
others.
introduced like this very diverse.
Yeah,
Like it wasn't like they were just on this planet where everybody's this
you're either like a
race.
Asgardian or a
Like
Frost
yeah,
Giant.
like everyone was literally like it was like so diverse, and they like
Yeah,
introduced
you had
like
a
these
talking raccoon,
governments
bro.
and like all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff, which was crazy.
yeah,
Yeah.
and they did more with the I don't know if I should say more. I don't know. They had the Soul Stones again, but like,
Mhm.
and it wasn't like in some weird MacGuffin form. It's like just the Soul Stone. Like, I don't know,
And, like
because
one of the Infinity
there was
Stones.
like the Tesseract, in the Tesseract or the Infinity Stones. I don't know why I said Soul Stones, but like there was the Tesseract, and then there was like that red gem or something that the Skull Face had. I forget what form it was
Skullface.
in. Wait, was the Tesseract what Red Skull had?
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Like what Loki
Okay.
was after.
Yeah,
Yes.
look, I know the Tesseract like hopped around a few times, and it was kind of like, oh, what's in it? And
Yeah.
then it was like, oh, it's an Infinity Stone.
They
It was
eventually got
like,
it from Asgard. Yeah.
yeah, it was a weird bunch of
All right.
setup. Uh,
Um.
but yeah, I don't know. Guardians of the Galaxy, really cool. What's
Yeah.
next?
Age of Ultron.
Age of Ultron, D.
D. Okay.
Right down there with Iron Man 3.
I kind of have to. I have to disagree with you on this one. I put in B. It's
B.
it's not the best
uh,
Avengers movie, but
I
I really
liked
like it, and I like
it.
the
Added
introduction of
some.
WandaVision or
Yeah.
WandaVision, Wanda and well, no, Vision was in that one too. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed when the Hulk, Mr. Ruffalo, and Iron Man were kind of being scientists
Yeah.
together. I enjoyed those
Yeah.
parts. The character introductions were interesting. I wish they would have kept the fast guy, Mr.
Yeah.
Mr.
Quicksilver.
Pietro. Yeah.
Hey, he comes back. Spoiler.
Guess so, yeah, kind of. I don't know, the story bits were kind of weird. It's set up for like Civil War, but like a Civil
Yeah.
War is kind of like it feels like it's their solution for like the massive plot hole where they just like killed a ton of people by dropping a city or something. Like, I don't know, it didn't feel like they won at the end of Ultron.
No.
It just felt like they kind of did, like they won, but they didn't stop like a ton of people from dying anyway.
Yeah.
It did
And it
set up
caused them lots of
vibranium.
problems in the future. So.
Yeah. It's set up for vibranium and like later
Yeah.
on, like Black Panther and stuff, which again happens Civil War. So it set up a lot of stuff, but I feel like as a movie, a standalone, it
Ultron.
wasn't that great.
So I had like watched a long time ago. I'd watched like a
I only saw it
Avengers cartoon, kind of
once.
like an animation show, and like Ultron was there. It was one of the villains in that, and I was really excited for Ultron, and I really liked Ultron, but I think they could have done much better with him too.
All he
But
really
I
did
did enjoy
was
still seeing him.
he just controlled an army of robots, essentially, right?
Yeah,
That was his whole thing. It's like, go my fodder army of robots.
yeah.
Attack them.
All right, next
And
we
it's like,
had
oh,
Ant-Man, and we're in like
Ant-Man.
we're in 2015. Wow, that was 6 years ago. That does not seem like.
Yeah. Ant-Man, I put in the C tier. I really liked Ant-Man. I don't know what it is that I'm trying to think. No, it was okay. Like, I liked it. Also, it was after Ant-Man. I thought Ant-Man was after Civil War. Was it before?
It was before. Because
Okay.
Ant-Man is in Civil War.
Yeah, well, Spider-Man was in Civil War, bro.
Okay.
For some reason, I think.
But-
Oh, okay. He just got out of prison. Spoiler in Ant-Man, and I think that's why I was thinking. I think in
Yeah, you're
Ant-Man
okay.
2, he also just got out of prison
Yeah.
because of Civil War. Okay. Yeah,
Ant-Man I put in the A tier, and that
yeah.
the
I
ma-
think I could switch that one out for B, maybe.
the main reason I put it in the A tier was, I mean, I enjoy the story and everything, but it was like all the Marvel movies are comedic in some way, but like that one was
Mhm.
just like was all like on a whole nother level. Like that one, I would laugh throughout the entire movie. It's one
Mhm.
of those movies, like Agent Woo, like that
Yeah,
introduced
true.
Agent Woo and
Yeah, I could probably put
everything.
it up with the B tier.
Yeah,
It's hard for me because I don't know if it's better than I don't know if it's on the same tier as Captain America. For me, but like there's Thor and it's pretty good.
hmm
So I feel like that's it's between B and C. It's pretty
yeah.
good.
All right, we got Civil War now. Now we're on
Civil
Civil War.
War.
Yeah.
Um, Civil War. Which one did I? Oh, Civil War. I have in the A tier.
So do I.
Um,
Yep.
very good. I don't know if it's at the S. We haven't gotten into too many of my S tiers. I kind of
Yeah. Oh,
reserve those for like the
I got two.
standout.
Yeah, those are like my favorites.
Yeah,
My absolute favorites. But I put mine in the A tier as well. Really just because that had everybody. Like, I mean, that was like the
yeah,
biggest movie. It had so many people in it.
yeah. It was
It had
literally
been.
just a Captain America movie as well, but it was more like an Avengers.
Mm,
Like everybody was there, so it was really interesting. I like that. We had for the first time they were fighting against each other essentially, which is interesting. We also had Mr. Spider-Man himself join for the
yeah.
first time. So,
Yeah.
and Black Panther kind of showed up there. So it was just a lot. It was a lot of setup too, because I think the events of Civil War did a lot for that series, like all the way through Endgame and where we are now. Like they still have a lot of
Yeah.
callbacks to like that time. So yeah, just a big I don't know, like what would I say? Just a lot of things happening, a lot of change. It's a very impactful movie for
hmm
the MCU, I would
Yeah,
say.
I agree. We have Doctor Strange next.
So Doctor Strange, if do you want to go with yours
Yeah, sure.
first?
I put him in C's here, which is kind of low for my tier list. I
Huh.
really enjoy the aspects of Doctor Strange in that whole mystical world, and I really enjoy Doctor Strange in like Infinity War, and I'm gonna enjoy him in No
Yeah.
Way Home. But I don't know, the origin story just I
Yeah.
enjoyed it, but it just didn't do all that for me. I should
I
say.
put it I put it in the B, which is actually not too bad
Yeah,
for
that's
mine. But the beginning was definitely kind of the weaker part, but I really enjoyed his story of like going out and like seeking for this stuff and like finding it. And it was very different from everything else at the time. And honestly, I think for most movies, it's still like the magic system in Doctor Strange is still very unique compared to
mm-hmm.
even the other MCU
Yeah.
movies, even the ones that came after it. So for that, I feel like it has some points because there's so much more that's coming off of that. And the only thing I'm disappointed about is that they haven't done it yet, but I feel like they're still going to, you
Mm-hmm.
know. I think that's another thing about the Thor movies. Like, spoiler alert, Asgard has been blown up, so there's no
Yeah.
more of that. Yeah, so it's like a dead lead. Even though Thor himself, I'm really
All right, so my computer kind of like freaked out there, but I think we're going on to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
you're a little bit low in the your chin's out of frame.
My chin's out of frame.
Yeah, you're a little bit low in the frame. If that makes sense. There you go.
Okay.
I just didn't know you could tell. All right. Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Do you want to peep yours first?
Sure. This one went into the C tier. It's not
C.
not a very memorable movie for me. I enjoyed the introduction of Prant. What's her name? Prantis, right?
Yeah.
I think that's her name.
Sound like literally praying mantis, but just
Yeah.
Prantis or
I
something.
I think that's it. I don't know, but I think that was a good
Makes
addition to
sense.
the crew.
Yeah.
And like the comedy was good and stuff, but
Yeah.
not a bad movie, just not something really memorable. I have a ladybug in my head.
Okay, you cut out for a sec. I thought I was
Oh.
scared.
Ladybug?
Yeah. Do you? Oh, you do. Ew. I hate ladybugs
Why?
just because they smell bad.
They do smell bad.
Um,
Anyways.
I have it in the B tier just because I don't know. I really enjoyed the characters again. I really enjoyed the beginning. The end was kind of and these stories, but you know, I don't know. I just feel like I really like the setting as well again. So
Yeah.
it's just hard for me to be
But
like, you know,
those are
because
the
it was
big
still a lot of
pluses.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for me, if I don't know, yeah, like I don't know, the story fell flat, but I feel like a lot of the stories for these are like, you know, a lot of the
Mhm.
Marvel movies have stories that are kind of like, this will never be relevant again in the end. It's really weird. Like we have all these like individual stories, but at the end, like most of the time, you know, when they all come together, it's like, yeah, nobody cares that your dad was a planet, bro. Like all that matters was like the characters and like the relationships between them, which I feel like the Guardians movies always do really well because
Yeah.
they I don't know, I think their characters are just very well defined because they're just all very
They're
cartoonish
so
almost.
so
So
here's the
they're
thing is
just
that
always yeah.
sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, it's
But I was like, so with Avengers, we had solo movies that built up that team. That was the Avengers.
yeah.
Guardians of the Galaxy was just always like this team, you know?
Yeah.
Like they
They're
became the
just
team in the first movie, you know? And I
mhm.
think that was interesting and like a nice change of pace. And it was very
Yeah.
comedic and like you enjoyed that
Yeah.
relationship
And the
between them.
characters work really well together because I feel
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
when all the Avengers came together, you had this issue where they were all trying to be like the main characters of their own stories, and
Yeah.
they were all kind of samey in that way. So when they came together, it was like, I'm the main character.
Yeah.
What? No, I am. And I feel like a lot of their dynamic wasn't like fleshed out until the later
Mhm.
parts. Like now, if you compare Thor from the first Thor movie and the first Avengers to Thor now, and like Thor in his last movie, you can
Mhm.
see where they shifted him to fit better in his own niche almost. And they
Yeah.
fleshed out the character a lot more. And that might just be, his character arc, you know,
Oh.
doing a nice, but from being just a boring, plain, like uh I don't know, main character boy to something more interesting at least. I don't know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But yeah, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy did that very well. They had each person very unique and they fit together without overstepping each other too much, which I felt worked really well.
We're taking a while to move through these, so next one,
Uh, yeah.
Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, you can cut my really long responses because I feel like I ramble and repeat myself.
No, it's okay. But
So
Spider-Man,
Spider-Man,
I'm just gonna say A tier. It's Spider-Man.
A
Come
tier,
on, it's a Spider-Man movie. It's Spider-Man, dude. Like,
pretty good. I had it on the B,
ooh,
the first one, just
ooh.
because I don't know. I enjoyed Spider-Man. I enjoyed the characters. I did not like that they didn't give him like his origin story. He just kind of appeared in Civil War.
Biggest problem
So
with Spider-Man, like to this date,
yeah,
is
I
that
think
no
that
reference to Uncle Ben. That's
yeah.
just like a crime.
So I think just they changed it up and
It's back, bro.
they did an interesting thing with it. Oh wow. They did an interesting thing with it where he was like going up to Iron Man like, bro, give me some more responsibilities, but at the same time he's like in high school or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's pretty good. I just I feel like there were a lot of other good movies that were better, so I put it in B.
Yep. So you've been talking about this one, Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok, S tier all the way.
Oh, really? Oh.
S tier all the way.
Okay, so like I said, I really enjoyed Thor, the original. And I just think that with Thor Ragnarok, a lot of people like this, but I didn't. They just kind of like threw away kind of everything that they were working with and kind of built a new Thor. And I
Yeah.
didn't like that. And it's an enjoyable movie, but I just didn't like what they did with Thor. And yeah, so I have it in the C tier.
I feel like he became less serious, but like his brother's the god of mischief, so it shouldn't have been that serious to begin with. I feel like they could have done a lot better if they hadn't made it so
Yeah, I
gritty
don't know if I should
from the
really blame it
beginning.
on. I don't know if I should
Like
really blame it on Ragnarok. Maybe
I think
just
they
like
were
the
afraid to
trilogy
make
in
it.
general. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
felt like
no.
they were afraid to make it too silly. I think at first, and it would have worked a lot better if they had done
Yeah,
so.
I just didn't like the just the abrupt change.
Yeah,
Like,
I think I don't know. It just so far like is really unique. I think I just like where they take unique settings and they do really cool stuff. Like they went to
yeah,
basically like
a
the
junk
Hulk is
planet.
on this on this planet and they're like he's like doing fights or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just really interesting. Like the whole thing was very nice. Very nice.
Next one
Just
up.
very fun movie.
It is a fun movie.
Yeah.
Next one up is Black Panther.
Black Panther. Uh you can start with this one if you want.
I have it in the A tier. Um,
A? Okay.
I mean, it's a solid movie. It's a real solid movie. I went to see it with my friend on his birthday. So that was like a good experience in the theater. Uh,
Mhm.
so, but it was a solid movie, so I put it in the A tier.
I had it in the B. I definitely thought it was a very solid movie, but I don't know. It was very solid, very nice. I liked it. It just wasn't like a standout, A or S. So
Mhm.
firm B, I think for me.
Yeah. Um, let's see. Black Panther. Okay, Infinity War. Wow, you
Infinity
really
War we
jumped off
have
there.
yeah, right in the S tier for me. Just because I mean it's
S
Infinity War.
tier.
S tier.
S tier. I put my like absolute like I like these are the best. Infinity War didn't make it. I love Infinity War,
I
but
think
I
for
don't.
all of for all of the hype for me, it just made it like dang, you know what I mean? Like just it was like the culmination of so much and so
Mhm.
much happened. Like it was just a very epic movie, and I feel like,
Yeah,
for
it
that, yeah. I
it
mean, for
was
the
epic.
energy around it, like it was like the only thing that people were talking about for a
Yeah,
while, at least. Yeah.
that's true. I mean, it could easily be pushed up in the S tier, but it's just it kind of comes. I don't want to like spoil my tier, right? Okay, I don't think it's really
Mhm.
spoiled. Let's be honest. Like Endgame was just, it just made it was better. It was better.
I
So
always think of them
I
as
didn't.
like together. That's probably
Yeah,
why I'm like
they. I mean,
they're to
I
me they're
mean, for
like
the
part one
longest
and part
time,
two
for the longest
of the
time, it
same
was
movie.
called Endgame was called Avengers: Infinity War Part Two because they didn't want to release the
Yeah.
name, and
To
so
me, it felt
they
like part one
everyone
and part
referred to
two.
it as Part Two.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, there are some differences and stuff, but to me, it is always just going to be like Infinity War Part Two.
Yeah.
I even like the name Infinity War better than Endgame. Honestly, it
Yeah.
just Endgame's is too, I don't know, generic to me, but I think it kind of fit as well. But
Mhm.
we'll get into that. What was the next movie?
Uh, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man and the Wasp. I put in a nice B tier, just because of the ending that kind of set up for Endgame.
Yeah.
Other than that, I like the Wasp and stuff, and it just felt like another Ant-Man movie, which I had in C tier, so I bumped it up to B. So, no.
B. I have it in B as well. Um, by Ant-Man was very comedic, the original, and the
Mhm.
second one was just like that and more probably.
Yeah.
Um, I just
I think
I don't like. I just I'm a sucker for origin stories, so
yeah.
Ant-Man like has to be above the Ant-Man and the Wasp. Even though I love
Mm.
seeing the Wasp, like
Yeah.
easily could be bumped up to A, but I just didn't want to
Mhm.
put it right with Ant-Man, so it's
Yeah.
in my B
True.
tier.
Yeah, I feel like I give more points to interesting settings and like new lore and
Yeah.
stuff. So like, and kind of the hype if it sets up some good stuff. So I like, I think because it's set up in game, like it had you thinking like, oh man, how's this gonna tie in?
Yeah, it was I mean, like
Yeah,
looking at this like it's the movie between Infinity War and Endgame.
yeah,
Like we have
and
Captain Marvel, which is next, but like
yeah,
Captain Marvel didn't take place between that. Like it was like an
yeah,
earlier
it's
movie.
just yeah,
It's like this was the movie. It was like we just seen Infinity War and we were all like, what? And then like we
Yeah.
see Ant-Man,
And when it
and we're
tied
like,
in the post
oh,
credit scene, we were
what?
like,
What?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Uh,
I think besides that, to me, I feel like it's pretty on par with the original Ant-Man movie. Besides
mhm.
like the other stuff that I liked, so bumped it up one.
That cat is really
Next,
chilling right now.
oh yeah, he's
Next is
vibing.
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. I feel like I liked it in some ways, and in other ways, it was like I liked what is it, the shapeshifter boys? What are those
The
boys
scrolls.
called? Yeah,
Yeah.
I like the scrolls and like
Yeah.
their setup. And I thought her backstory was gonna be like, I don't know, her backstory setup seemed really interesting, but like it was all right. And then they didn't do much with her. So
Yeah.
like they set her
So
up to be this like I don't know, more than she ended up being, I feel like.
so I think this movie gets a lot of unnecessary hate, but I enjoyed it, and I think that there's like good pieces there, but there's something with the execution that I just didn't
Mhm.
like. I think that they were just trying to do too much almost.
Yeah. I
They like
liked
trying to do this like origin, but like her
yeah.
memories, and then introduce the scrolls, and there's a lot
Yeah.
was going
I
on.
like that they
I
did
don't know.
something different with that, at least.
Yeah,
It wasn't like the regular origin story. I
yeah.
liked um I
That was
liked
interesting. I'm like those are the things. There's like these good parts,
yeah.
but I just feel like it didn't
Her and Nick Fury, I feel like
mesh.
those parts were interesting.
Yeah.
And then the scrolls I liked. So
Hmm.
I put it in C. So it's there with Ant-Man and Thor, you
Yeah.
know.
I
Not
mean, I don't
bad.
know if it's really deserving of
Not bad.
D.
I think I probably bumped it up more because it did add the scrolls and then the
Yeah.
other stuff like with that.
I will
So,
say you watched WandaVision. We watched WandaVision together.
yeah.
So that I forget the girl's name, but she'll be part of the next Miss Marvel movie, Captain Marvel.
Mhm.
And then there's Miss Marvel, which a show's coming about her, but she'll also be part of the next Captain Marvel movie. So I'm really looking forward to that, like, because this will be like a group of people with like similar abilities. I think that'll be
Mhm.
interesting.
Yeah.
Um,
The shows notice are not on here, so we should probably do a tier list for
yeah,
those, but there's only like 3 or
yeah.
something, so
Um,
maybe we can just talk about
so
them later on.
next one
Next one,
in
Endgame.
game.
Endgame, definitely S tier.
Definitely
I mean,
S
there's
tier.
no
Yeah,
yeah.
but listen, it
If they weren't S tier,
like
we probably wouldn't like the series at all. You know. So if you like more like if you like the MCU movies at all, Endgame has to be
yeah.
pretty high up there, I think.
Listen, Endgame could have literally just been that like 1 minute clip of Captain America throwing around Mjolnir, and
Yeah,
I would have put it in S tier. All right,
yeah. I do
that
agree
was
that I would
the
think
best
I
part.
think it is better than Infinity War, but I always think of them as just like two
Yeah,
parts of the same movie, so that's why I always
yeah,
like lump them. It felt like, you know, the way I think about it, without Infinity War, there couldn't be an end game. Like they had to set it up
yeah,
somehow.
yeah,
And the only reason they were 2 movies is because it's 6 hours of
yeah.
stuff happening. So
Definitely. All right, I'm interested for this one's Far From Home.
Far From Home, I actually had in the A tier.
A tier. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Was
I
that above
think
your Spider-Man or?
yes, it's the one above.
Okay, so I
Yeah.
had my Spider-Man in A tier, and so I have Far From Home in the S tier.
Yeah. I thought it was very good, especially coming up it like the first movie coming off of Endgame,
That's
and like it's setting up this stuff where people are coming back from the snap and all that. Like it's
yeah,
just a lot of cool
that's
happening.
what I loved most about it was that I think it did a good job of being that like first movie like okay
Yeah.
like what like Endgame just happened like well what are we to expect, and I thought that was really interesting.
Mhm.
And then I don't want to give away it's
The villain was
should
interesting, I
we've
think.
we spoiled enough stuff like at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah, the villain was interesting, and at the end revealing his identity, I was like
Yeah.
whoa, like when I saw that I was like oh my gosh, you know.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
obviously
I'm
it sets
still
up the next movie.
yeah. I think a part of that is that I'm still hyped for the next one that's gonna come like right
Yeah.
after. And it's honestly been longer than it should have been with COVID and everything, I think. So
Yeah.
kind of overdue for that payoff.
Oh yeah.
So
Um all right, so that was all that was the end of phase 3 was with
Mhm.
Spider-Man Far From Home. And then just like 2 months ago, we got the start of phase 4 with Black Widow.
Mhm. I put that one's weird for me. Like I'm not sure how I felt about it when I was watching it. I liked it a lot, but I have it at C. I feel like it could go either C or B because I really
Okay.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
For me, at least.
So this one was one of the harder ones to do, and I put it in the B tier. Now, like we talked about, like Guardians of the Galaxy and like Thor, like setting up this like setting and like the whole new world, and then Black Widow is just kind of like that.
Yeah, it's
just,
like a standalone.
And it's not like a super interesting setting or something like that, but it's like it feels needed because like Black Widow has been a part of like so many movies and like the MCU. Like like this movie was needed, and I actually enjoyed the movie. I really did. Like it was interesting, and the new characters were interesting to watch, and her kind of story was interesting. It's hard to compare to like things like well, I was gonna say that, but we don't have to throw in things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain Marvel, where they have all these cool settings and stuff.
I think the main the setting thing, like the setting is kind of I enjoyed the characters a lot, and I think that's what I liked it for. The main villain in like that whole situation, I wasn't too into that bit, but I did like all the characters and stuff in their the funny bits, I guess.
Okay.
So that kind of held it up for me. I didn't really care too much about the story either anyway. Like you kind of watched it just to see like, I liked it for the Black Widow lore that we kind of got there and more of her story, I guess.
Yeah.
Because I had always felt like she just kind of popped up in Avengers, didn't she? And she was like, "What's she doing here?" And then
yeah. Well, she
so
popped up in Iron Man first, I think.
Did she?
Yeah. All right, there's one more on the list. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
I'm pretty hyped about this one. I feel like this could go A or B for me, but I put it at A just because again the setting and it's very different. Like when it stands on its own so well, like it felt like it didn't even feel like a Marvel movie until like people started tying in at the ends and like little bits. So I felt like it was a good movie, just standalone. Plus it sets up, kind of like Doctor Strange did, just weird like magic stuff that's on its own like levels, like different from anything else that we've seen. So that bumps it up a lot, and it's new. So A or B, I put it at A because I'm hype on it for now.
This has been one of my favorite movies, and I put it in the S tier, like top tier movie. I think, like you said, the kind of like on the same level as Doctor Strange with like introducing this new like magic, which was really cool.
But more interesting as its own movie, I think, than Doctor Strange was.
Oh yeah,
just the character. Like
definitely.
Doctor Strange wasn't deep in the characters. I think like you really liked Wong and the bald person, like the bald chick, but like the other characters weren't as like.
It's like everybody
had a lot of good characters.
Yeah, this one had a lot of characters, and they were like made prevalent in the movie. I feel like, and I think the relationship between the main character and then I forget her name. What was her name? His best friend. Like their relationship, Katie.
Yeah.
Their relationship was like amazing. Like she was with him like the entire way, and like she actually like. I don't want to spoil it. It's like literally just
it's very new, so we can't do too much about it, but I really
she was there with him like the entire way, and like that was really cool to see.
Like the interactions and relationships just with like normal people, I feel like are the best out of the MCU almost, because like most of the time it just sets up and they start out so different from everybody that it's like you never get these like, I don't know, it just felt really nice. I like really good to watch. I don't know what it is.
I want to say this: the creatures. Okay, that was really cool. Like, first off, the setting. They're on Earth, right? But like they're like in this like magical realm type.
Yeah.
Like this gate to a new. I don't know how to explain it, and they didn't really explain it. It's just
very weird. Not too many spoilers, but the setting was very nice.
Yeah. The setting was
like,
very unique. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like nothing like we've seen before, I think, and that's what makes it.
Yeah, and then
so much better.
Well, like Legend of the Ten Rings. Like, I don't think this is a spoiler, but the rings are magical. So like,
Mhm.
there's this magic,
And it's set
and
up that we kind of thought a long time ago with the Mandarin, but then it was like, just
yeah,
kidding. I think that's
and
what makes it so satisfying
it's
as
also
well.
like interesting to think like, did they like know like what this movie is gonna be like when they made Iron Man
Yeah.
3 so many years ago? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this and this and this. It's like that's crazy to think about. Um, yeah, but it was a great movie,
Yeah.
and
Oh yeah,
I
it was
just
really good.
it's like makes Black Widow was necessary. I think that was a necessary movie,
Mhm.
but that was like that's kind of it's a Phase 4 movie, but that's like
Yeah.
really part of the old phases.
Mhm.
This like sets up something like to really get excited
New,
for.
really new. And
Yeah.
speaking of the Eternals trailer that I saw,
Oh yeah.
it really,
Like
and I,
like
yeah,
the direction that they're going in this phase is
yeah.
like
Yeah,
it's
and they're settings that are very interesting as well because they're not all just
yeah.
like U.S. and New York or like
Oh
whatever like random places in Europe and Russia. Like this is like you got some Chinese stuff, and then I think Eternals had like Indian and like just a
yeah.
bunch of worldwide
The
like
the fact
places.
that they were speaking Mandarin in the movie for like
Oh
a
yeah,
oh for like a good chunk of the movie, like
I think that just made it better. Yeah,
yeah, and there's like it made like it's like they should be speaking Mandarin there, you
yeah.
know?
Instead of
It's
just
like
speaking English for no reason,
yeah. And then like
or like Thor comes
and it's
home and
not
he's
even
like,
like
"Yeah, all Asgardians just speak English, bro."
and it's not even like sometimes movies will like do like a scene, you know, and then they'll be like, okay, now we're just gonna talk English. We'll
Yeah.
switch to English for no reason. It's like anytime that they did do that, they like put a reason to it almost,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, it
Like
felt
he was
like natural.
like the father came in and he was like, have you been working on your English? You know, and then they start talking.
Yeah.
And like they made it make sense, which I liked. You know, they didn't just
Mhm.
switch back
Yeah.
and forth.
Yeah.
And they made it like something like yeah, they should be speaking Mandarin, you know? Like
Mhm. Yeah. And I think if you have like if you compare like the interactions of people in Black Widow and then in this movie, you can kind of tell where, this movie does it just better. And I guess that makes sense because in Black Widow, they're all like really weird, like assassins, like
and
with
they're not
no
they're like a
proper
fake
childhoods.
family. They're like a fake
Yeah.
family and they kind of
Yeah.
all hate each
So
other.
yeah, and I feel like that kind of interaction is common in the MCU. Even like I think Ant-Man did it pretty well, where like you had this guy and his friend, but like his friend was just like a joke machine.
Yeah.
Like I feel like this one was like kind of realistic in their reactions and stuff, which I liked. It made the movie less of a disconnect. I don't know,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, I mean, because there's people in this world where like, yeah, someone can snap their fingers and everyone will disappear or whatever, but they're still like, bro, that doesn't sound believable when like magic happens. So it is pretty good, I think.
hmm Yeah, but that's all the movies we got now. You said that
That's
what?
that's all the movies. I do want to
Yeah.
view the community ranks though, so we
Oh yeah,
can
we did want to do that.
on this tier maker website you can actually see what the community. I guess this is the averages or something.
I'm not sure. I
But
whoa. Wait, what?
if we click it,
Wait, what?
oh,
What's going on?
okay. I think that's probably just because it's new. Uh,
Hopefully.
yeah,
Uh
I don't even
yeah.
see Black Widow in here.
Yeah, Black Widow's not on there.
Yeah.
So
I think
this
once it
just
settles,
averages?
um,
Community
community
voting,
voting
average
cumulative
rankings from
average.
205 to submitted tier
So
list.
it was updated in the future for me. So on the 7th of September, where I'm 9 p.m. on the 6th. Um, so yeah.
um
So for this one, they have Iron Man S tier.
yeah, I'll put this
Uh,
on the screen as well.
oh
So
yeah.
yeah, kind of
Already. Let me see if I can't pull mine up so I can compare better.
yeah, it
To
looks some of the things look similar. Like I have Captain America, Winter Soldier. Of I didn't put Avenger, Iron Man.
Winter Soldier, I
Oh,
can see.
wait,
Iron Man, I
what?
can see.
Avengers Endgame isn't even S tier.
Yeah, that's
That's
weird.
crazy.
I guess I don't know. I don't know that one. That one's weird because I feel like most of the payoff was in Endgame compared to Infinity War.
Okay, they have Far From Home below Spider-Man, the first
That
Spider-Man.
one's a weird. Yeah.
I think I really enjoyed Far From Home more than I did Because he actually
Um,
pursues like the MJ relationship too. Like
yeah,
that would seem necessary. And I was like, why is MJ
yeah.
in
It,
Spider
it
Man
was
and he doesn't even like MJ? You
it
know?
was satisfying that he was a more relatable awkward than the Toby Maguire's just
Yeah,
really creepy, like this person doesn't know
yeah.
how to talk to human beings
I think
awkward.
most of that was not really Toby. It was more
Just
the
direction, yeah.
time, and just like
And
early
it
two
was the
thousands.
90s.
Just like just
Yeah,
the way
90s, 2000s. People were just
movies
weird.
were
Yeah.
made. Yeah,
That's just
people are
what
just
people thought
weird.
nerds were.
Yeah.
They're like, bro, they literally can't talk to humans.
There's like
They
so many
literally,
scenes where they just sit there and they're like smiling at each other. Like it's
yeah.
like, by the way, Andrew Garfield, best Spider-Man.
Mm, we can do an S.
Hey.
We can do a tier maker for that. They have Thor,
As
the Dark
B.
World
Oh,
as B tier, which is kind of
really?
strange, but also everything is squished between S and C, so that makes
Yeah.
sense. I don't think Captain Marvel is the same level as the Hulk, but a lot of people didn't like that, so I
Mm.
guess I can see where they thought that.
Yeah, I think
I don't
that
see
there's a
Thor being. I don't see Spider-Man Far From Home on the same tier as Thor Dark World.
no.
Uh, yeah, I feel like Thor Dark World should not be as high as it is. And then they squished everything into A tier, which is
Yeah.
really weird.
I just can't get over Endgame. Like, how is Endgame not
Yeah.
up there?
I feel like okay, they have Avengers in S tier, which I feel like Avengers was hype, but like it wasn't the
It's
best. Like
like
it was not as good
that
as
is a very like nostalgic. Like that's
yeah.
always gonna be like one of the best MCU movies just because of what it did.
It
But
was the
you
yeah,
have
it was
to
the first one to bring
admit
them
that like
together.
it just got better and like that's okay.
Yeah.
It got better and that's
Yeah.
okay.
Like
Just accept
I
it.
put Iron Man there because at the time it was great, but Iron Man stands alone really good.
Yeah.
In my opinion, like as an origin story, it is one of the strongest still.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the Avengers of the ensemble movies, I guess you could call them. I feel like it is one of the weakest, though I don't know if it's as weak as Age of Ultron. But Age of Ultron, I think Age of Ultron did some things better than the Avengers, but the Avengers, like the hype factor and like that it did the first thing, still holds it up pretty high.
Yeah.
It just wasn't that great. Like I feel like I feel like they could have used them better somehow. I don't know. Like used all the different characters better. But it might have been because a lot of the movie was trying to set up getting them together. And in the later movies, you don't really have to do that. You just say, oh, I'm gonna call up my best buddy, the Hulk. He's gonna show up because I know him now.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually, I don't know. The first meetings were probably the best parts of the movie as well. So that's probably why it's such a high. Because the fights, they're not memorable. I don't remember how they beat the giant flying like metal whales in the sky, and I don't really care too much either.
Yeah.
Huh. Well,
Mm.
this is averages, so it's probably like one of those weird things where
honestly, it might be a new tier too. Like, there's only 205 submitted tiers. They probably redid this when they added Shang-Chi.
yeah,
So
I don't know
probably
why. I don't know why they would have it at the bottom. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, I don't know why that is either.
Unless these are people that really like Marvel movies as Marvel movies, where they just do the same thing every time. Because I could see them. I could see that from this list actually.
No, Shang-Chi was amazing. I thought.
Yeah, I mean,
And if that's what like a standalone film is gonna be like just imagine No Way Home, dude. It's oh gosh.
Yeah. That's so
Dude,
weird.
if Andrew, I'm gonna cry if Andrew's not in.
You're gonna cry.
I'm gonna cry for real, dude.
Bro, at what point? At what point did the tears come? Is it like the post-credit scene, like you're holding your tears back?
I'm like,
it's like if he
dude,
doesn't show up,
dude. If he's not, I'm like, I will.
he needs
hold
to
out
show up
hope.
and he needs to say something as
Listen.
Spider. He needs to throw a joke at me. He needs to. I need to see him. I need to see fucking Gwendolyn snap her neck again, or I'm gonna riot.
Dude.
I'm gonna cry.
I like literally like if we go the whole movie and don't see anything about them, I'm gonna be like sitting there waiting for the end credit scene, and like I'm gonna fully expect all three Spider-Mans to be in the end credit scene, and then also have Charlie Cox's Daredevil show up as well, like in like a 30-second end credit scene.
I mean,
I'm not
if they
gonna
don't
lose
show
out
up?
hope. I'm not gonna lose out hope, bro.
What if it was like Psych? And maybe they just
Dude,
like
okay. at this one,
What if he just like walks up? What what if they're like going through like a wormhole and they just see them like a glimpse of them fly by and that's the whole thing? What if that's it?
dude?
I can
Here's
see
the
that
thing,
happening.
like, there's been so much hype
They,
built up about it.
Toby
There's too
Maguire
many
flies by and he
signs.
says, "It's pizza time," and that's it. He just flies by. He's like, I'm gonna put some dirt
Nah,
in
dude,
your
he has to
eye."
do the finger guns
Yeah.
at some point. Dude, if he doesn't do the finger guns in this movie, bruh. If they bring him back and don't have him do the finger guns, now that would be a shame.
Bro, there's a Venom movie coming out.
Carnage.
I'm not too hype about that. I didn't see the first one, but it
Yeah.
didn't seem interesting to me. I don't know.
It's pretty good, actually.
I'm just salty that it's not in the MCU, dude.
Yeah. All right. We should probably do. You said you wanted to do a show tier list.
A show tier list. Do we have time for that? I mean,
Oh, we can just
there's
say
only
it
like
real
3
quick.
shows.
Let's.
We could just say which we like better. I liked.
I think we agree. Number 1,
I really liked
Loki.
Loki. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I really liked Loki the most.
Yeah, Loki
for
was
sure.
awesome.
How many shows are there? Oh, there are 3. Okay,
There's
there's the one that I
4.
forget.
There's 4.
Oh, there's 4 now.
There's 4 now, dude.
What if is kind of weird because I wouldn't say it's like important for lore. It's just kind of it's what if. So
It expands the universe, though. It shows you that
I would
there's the
say
multiverse and the Watcher.
yeah,
I
but
think
it's not they're not connected really. So they're standalone
We don't-
episodes. So
I mean, we don't know
yeah.
yet. You don't know what's gonna happen at the last. Like, I fully expect something to happen at the last episode that like makes you excited for a future movie. You know, like
Could be.
I don't see the show just being completely like
Like
standalone.
an anthology or whatever.
Like I honestly fully expect at the end of it. Like
I mean, they do have a connecting character.
Like
no
when
spoilers.
has there ever been a connecting character?
The Watcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, he connects all of them. But also, they're kind of connecting each other, I guess. I don't know. This is spoilers for Loki. Until a movie comes out that fleshes it out more.
Yeah.
With the multiverse stuff.
So when has there ever been a Marvel movie where they just left you like, okay, like that was the end, and they weren't like, there's something else, like WandaVision, they added the new character.
They did.
And then she became Scarlet Witch, and then you see this like scene of her like out in the mountains or whatever. And you're like, and then the Falcon Winter Soldier they leave you with.
They're setting up.
He just became Captain America,
Yeah.
And then you also have this like new lady who's starting,
is like
their
starting
own Avengers team.
Yeah,
which is
kind of weird.
The Black Widow.
Yeah, so it's connecting. Loki for me definitely the top.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for me. WandaVision was really weird. The first couple episodes, you're like, what's going on?
Okay.
So I would put it above Captain America, Falcon and Winter Soldier. I'd put it above that just because I forget that show exists a lot, but I remember liking it. So
yeah,
it's hard.
I liked it, but okay, I know that like a bunch of people don't feel this way, but I loved WandaVision. I loved the first few episodes. Like, I love that they just like left you like totally wondering like what's going on, and then I think it just showed like how good of actors and then like how good like the studio was, like just like they were making this show, but at the same time they were also making a show inside the show. Like they had this
I really liked it.
50s theme and stuff, and like the way that they were able to do that and still
I feel like it's
story.
set up more just because of that woman and then like the Scarlet Witch powers or like witches or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like another magic system or something that's not really fully explored. So that's really interesting. With the Falcon, I don't know. The Falcon's never been that interesting of a character for me. So this kind of made him better for me. Like it made it more interesting. The Winter Soldier, Mr. Bucky Barnes, always great. I always love what he's in. I don't know why. I think it's just a good character. And then I hated fake Captain America. I hated him. I didn't hate him. I hated the character the way you're supposed to hate him because he is supposed to
Mhm.
not be. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So I think he was done well because you see him and you instantly say, "Oh no, what
Like
what have they done?"
like you have Steve Rogers and then you have this guy, you know.
Yeah, they've massacred my boy.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I think that was done really well. It set up it 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 set up the idea that people are kind of pissed that a ton of people have come back after 5 years,
Mhm.
which is a theme that I think Shang-Chi mentioned like very briefly in the
Yeah.
beginning.
It's yeah,
No spoiler, it wasn't really a part of the story, it was just on the
that was
news.
actually really interesting is that they actually explored something that most movies wouldn't, you know. Like they're
Mhm.
actually exploring this like political
Yeah.
ideas around like what's actually
So,
happening in the world.
yeah,
And I
it was
think that
interesting.
that's going to help connect like the movies
Yeah.
together.
Yeah,
Like
it's gonna be
and not just
another
for Earth
Sokovia
too.
Accords type thing, I
Yeah.
think, where Civil War was like, we can't go fucking up whole countries anymore, bro. This time it's gonna be like, okay, we have all these people, like, what's gonna happen? I mean,
Yeah.
spoiler for Loki, multiverse stuff is about to go down,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's gonna change a lot of things. So it's gonna be interesting to see how this like grounded political like assassin team is going to come in with, oh, the multiverse is exploding. Like I don't know how those are going to connect. um
Yeah.
sh- yeah, I think Shang-Chi almost, it seemed like the start of that connection though, because it was very grounded up until the point where there was just like crazy magic. So I guess we'll see. That worked pretty well too.
Yeah.
So
Um yeah, and then we got What If, which is really kind of hard to rank because it's so
yeah,
different.
it's
Um
animated. They're not connected stories, but I like them so far. So
yeah. Um This has been a long one for our first one. It's been a long episode. I thought these are gonna be pretty short, actually.
I feel
Um,
like going forward they're probably going to be short, but
yeah,
it
they're gonna
turns
be
out
short going
ranking
forward.
1, 2, 3.
We kind of felt the need to like, explain our decisions thoroughly, so uh, which I enjoyed, but it took us some time. But before we
Turns out
end
ranking
things,
25 movies
yeah,
over over 15 years or something
yeah,
is pretty hard.
um, yeah. But before we close things out here, I just thought we would say pick what we're most excited for in the future of the MCU. And we can't say No Way Home because, come on, that's everybody's favorite. So like, we got you some No Way. I like No Way Home is number one, but like, you know, because
What are you talking about?
Andrew and Toby, what we're most excited for in the future of
Oh,
the MCU, but not
oh.
No Way Home because
If it's not No Way Home, No Way Home for me is probably Eternals, just because again, it hits all the things that I like, where it's like something different, something, a different, like, these people apparently have been here for spoilers for the trailer of the movie, but they've been here forever, and who are they? What have they been up to? You know, how do they fit into everything? So it just
yeah.
sets up a lot of questions. It's gonna be interesting. Oh,
Um.
in a second, that's not Spider-Man. Also, Thor: Love and Thunder. I've heard.
Oh yeah.
I'm really interested to see what happens to him because I really, really, really. I mean, obviously, I had Ragnarok as S tier, so I want to see what happens next. So,
Yeah. So
especially with variant Loki, maybe.
language.
Spoilers, but will he come back? Like, you know, will
Yeah.
he somehow find his way back into the main line? Who
Hmm.
knows?
I think he has
So,
to.
he probably has to. There's no.
um.
They
So
can't leave it out. I mean, there's going to be a Loki season 2, so
yeah.
who knows?
I think one of the things. So No Way Home is like I gotta see that. Okay, I'm looking forward to that the most. But
Oh yeah,
besides that, what I'm really excited for is probably She-Hulk. I want to see
Mm.
that.
Is that coming soon?
It's a show. I'm pretty sure it's a
Okay.
show. I don't think it's anytime super soon, but maybe in the next year or two. I'm excited for that one because, like, as we mentioned, like the Hulk, like it's not a memorable movie, and there's a
Mhm.
lot of stuff to explore with the Hulk. And we saw Abomination and Shang-Chi, and I just think that they have a lot to explore with the Hulk, and I think She-Hulk is a good chance for a lot of that stuff to happen. So I'm
Yeah,
excited for that one.
I
And
just feel like they should have done more with the Hulk, just because I
yeah,
don't know, like
and I still hope that they do more. But I
yeah,
think that like
yeah,
the She-Hulk route is a good idea. Like
yeah.
bring something
I
new
think
to it and to
mhm.
expand on that story.
I think that's another reason I really liked Ragnarok, because it does explore the Hulk some more as well.
Yeah.
When he had his one movie that doesn't even really connect right to the MCU, and I've always felt like that was kind of a weird. But I always like more Hulk.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. I don't know if I should spoil this again. Um, actually, I don't know.
Just spoil it.
So
Just spoil
yeah,
everything.
the end of Shang-Chi, he, I mean, he still had his arm in a sling, but he was not the Hulk.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
was
if that
very
happened at the end of Endgame or not. I just remember him being the Hulk the whole time.
confusing, and you know that's very intentional. Like
Yeah,
they could have easily
yeah,
just had it be the whole what what do they call it?
yeah. He was like, I figured it out. I'm always the Hulk now. Booyah! And then now he's not. So it's just
Yeah,
really like, what happened?
they could have easily just had that be the Hulk. I forget what they call him, like Banner Hulk or something. I don't know.
Bruce Banner.
Uh
Oh,
oh no,
oh,
what
Bruce.
they call him when he's being Bruce, but also the Hulk at the same time. I forget Doctor or
Doctor Hulk. Something.
I can't remember what they call it, but they have a word. They like had something they called it, but they could have easily had it been him like as the Hulk, and like no one would have thought anything. So like
Yeah.
it's definitely very intentional. So it tells you that like they have to further the Hulk story. You
Mhm.
know, maybe that's
I
She
think
Hulk. Honestly, that could be like She Hulk.
for me, it's always weird that they have Wong come in whenever they need like the mystical guy, but like Doctor Strange never appears. Like, I don't know if it's just
He
hard
has to
to get
guard the
that
Sanctum
actor.
Sanctorum, bro.
I don't know, like, you'd think with all this important stuff they wouldn't just send Wong. It's like, Wong, I'm too busy. Go find this mystic artifact
Dude,
that just like pulsed or
Doctor
something
Strange is
crazy.
just too busy messing everything up, bro.
Doctor Strange never appears. Like,
Dude,
he
he's too
only
busy
appears in
messing up
like
the
the big movies.
multiverse, bro.
True, true.
It's actually it's okay. I don't want to go way
Like,
too
they had
long.
Iron Man in every movie just about, but they
Yeah,
can't get Doctor Strange to come in when they have Doctor Strange related stuff happening. I feel like Doctor Strange they don't do enough with. At least they haven't so far. Like, he
they
came in
they
Infinity War and
haven't, and they
Endgame,
should.
but
Like
like he was just there to
honestly,
be like, I am mysterious and I know more than you. That was like his whole thing.
yeah. And his thing was always like his like what everyone else was doing was not as important as what he was doing. He's like, oh, I'm
Yeah.
guarding this time stone, and what I'm doing
And
is so
then he
much
just
more
gives it
important.
to Thanos.
Yeah.
I've seen everything. Here, Thanos, you can have it.
All right. So, you got anything to add?
Um, Not really. I mean, for MCU stuff, I'm excited to see. I mean, I'm excited to see what shows and what movies are coming out, because I
Mhm.
feel like they've stacked a lineup in
Yeah.
this time they've been away. So, I've heard people the before the time away, I've heard people saying they were tired of Marvel movies. And they said Endgame was the perfect time to take a break. I
They
think I'm just interested, I kind of the opposite. At this point, I'm just interested to see where they're gonna go,
I
because
think
they
that
had
they're
set
being
up
more
Endgame.
original too. Like they're not
Yeah,
just
they're being
continuing, and I think that's good. Like they
yeah,
still
like,
have
I
like
feel
staple
like
things that make it Marvel, but there's like adding
Mhm.
so much new stuff that it makes it more
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah. When all of the characters in the original Avengers, a lot of them were just kind of normal, like normal
Yeah.
compared to the stuff they're
So
coming out with now. So I think it's going in a more interesting direction.
I want to wrap this up, but there's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So
Besides MCU, I'm
hold on,
excited for Star
hold on.
Wars stuff. That's all I'll say.
Yes,
That's all.
yes.
That's what I'll end on.
I just want to say this about the Marvel real quick. So one thing I've noticed is that like Iron Man, even Captain America, like all those kind of characters were like from science, like something somebody was able to make something that led to like this happening. And then
Yeah.
their weapons and stuff, like the Falcon fly around. Okay, that's technology and stuff. I really like this magical aspect. It's
Mhm.
really interesting, and I like that kind of direction. But do you have something to add?
I was just gonna say, with everybody being like magical, I think they're gonna step up with stuff. I mean, because in game, at the end of the day, you still had to have Captain America somehow fighting
Yeah.
with these aliens with magic, and I feel like it kept it more grounded. And I think that might be also one of the reasons they got rid of him. They got rid of Black Widow. They're getting rid of people that are just like fighting hand to hand because they want more magical and more.
And that means the villains are going to be even more
bigger. Yeah.
bigger
So
too,
I think, I'm looking forward to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that they were holding them back, but I feel like it was holding them more to a grounded.
Well, I'm looking forward to that as well. But you know what I'm looking forward to even more than the MCU than Star Wars? More episodes of the Chris and Cull Show. That's what I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of new content coming to the Fizz Kids channel. I feel it, bro. This is grind time. We'll have more of these episodes out, and we'll get them.
Yeah. Speaking of episodes, when's the next Minecraft episode?
Okay, that's the end of the podcast. We'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you. Take care.